Hi, welcome to America News Trust. I'm Steele Black. Even according to the Vanity Fair interviewer Chris Whipple, senior White House officials never do the type of interview that Susie Wiles did with Vanity Fair. And he's right. So he and the media thought Vanity Fair was taking advantage or getting the scoop on Trump's chief of staff, Susie Wiles, when in fact it was just the opposite. So let's take a look at what actually happened. Vanity Fair's Chris Whipple interviewed Wiles approximately 11 times and informed her that she was being recorded. Now I want you to see what Susie Wiles did when she took these interviews. It was to completely use Vanity Fair as a puppet, and it appears the media doesn't have a clue even now as to what happened. So let's look at it. It's clear Wiles agreed to be recorded. So what does this White House chief of staff say? She says J.D. Vance basically flipped and supported Donald Trump because he was running for the Senate. So in other words, she publicly implies that J.D. Vance is a political phony. That's not nice. That's mean. And she says it publicly about a guy she works with in the kind of news interview officials just don't do. She says Elon Musk is a ketamine drug user, an odd duck who's not always rational. Now that's very mean. So what is she intentionally doing? She's simply trying to establish with the interviewer, but ultimately with us, the public, that she's laying down the truth and that she's credible. Or else, why would the president's chief of staff, of all people, do this? So in other words, J.D. Vance and Musk had to take these hits, whether they agreed to them or not. It's kind of like the mob. But there's a reason this was done, and I'll show you. But you need to see this also. Then she says Russell Vought, the author of 2025, who runs Trump's Office of Management and Budget, is a right-wing absolute zealot. Now again, that was the truth. Now she has to say something about Trump to make it all authentic. So she says Donald Trump has an alcoholic's personality. Well, Trump is not known to be a drinker at all, so what does that even mean? And who cares? The point is that she's implying something about Donald Trump that appears to be negative to seal her authenticity to the readers. So she makes it look like she's insulting Trump when in fact Trump is the one she's protecting. So after saying these things, she now appears to be some type of truth teller who has even insulted Trump. Then, and this is the kicker, this is why she and Trump set this whole thing up to look authentic. So now she says that she read what she refers to as the Epstein files and that Donald Trump is in the Epstein files, but he's not doing anything awful. That is all this whole interview was for, to say she read the Epstein files and that Trump did nothing awful. And we're supposed to say, oh, she tells it like it is, so it must be true. Now to top it all off, she's now arguing, oh, I've been taken out of context. This was a hit job. So fake, like, she didn't mean to tell the truth. That's what that means, and that's what that's for. Everything she said was intended and done knowing she was recorded and knowing White House officials don't do these interviews. The only thing in that entire fiasco that she wants to sell is that Trump didn't do anything awful in the Epstein files. And I believe that's about as far from the truth as the sun is from the farthest star. This was all a scam and Donald Trump was part of it.